the destruction of Jericho city. In the book of Joshua, we learn that after the death of Moses, the leadership of Israel passed to Joshua. The Israelites, having wandered in the desert for 40 years, were now poised to enter the Promised Land. But before they could settle, they first needed to conquer the city of Jericho, a fortified city that stood in their way. God commanded Joshua to prepare the people for this significant event. He told him to lead the Israelites in a very unconventional way. The strategy was simple yet profound. They were to march around the city for 6 days, with the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant ahead of them. On the 7th day, they were to march around the city 7 times, and at the end of the 7th circuit, the priests were to blow their trumpets. Joshua faithfully followed God's instructions. On the 7th day, as they completed the 7th march around the city, the priests blew the trumpets, and the people gave a loud shout. The walls of Jericho, which had seemed impregnable, suddenly collapsed, and the Israelites were able to rush in and capture the city. But the destruction did not end with the walls falling. God had also given specific instructions regarding the spoils of the city. All that was in the city except for Rahab, the woman who had hidden the Israelite spies, was to be devoted to destruction as an offering to God. Everything was to be burned, and no one was to take any of the precious items for themselves. This was a test of obedience and trust in God's commands. Rahab and her family were spared because she had shown kindness to the Israelite spies when they came to Jericho. She hid them, and in return, they promised her safety. Rahab's faith is highlighted in the New Testament, where she is even mentioned in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. The fall of Jericho was not merely a military victory, it was a divine intervention that demonstrated God's power and the importance of obedience to His will. The Israelites had to trust God completely, and through their faith and obedience, they saw His mighty hand move. In the Orthodox understanding, this event teaches us about the necessity of relying on God's guidance, even when His ways seem strange or difficult to comprehend. We are reminded that God's plan is often beyond human understanding, and our role is to trust and obey. Just as the walls of Jericho came down with the sound of trumpets and the people's shout, so too do the obstacles in our lives fall when we put our faith in God's power. Grace of God Father, kindness of God's Son, communion of God Holy Spirit, the prayer and the intercession of Holy Saint Virgin Mary be with all of you. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the ring button.